Hi, I'm Naomi May, freelance fashion editor, and we're here with the SATCoL podcast, The Sustainable Conversation, and we are delighted to be joined by Jen Graham, otherwise known as Charity Shop Girl. Jen, hi, welcome to The Sustainable Conversation. It's a pleasure having you with us today.
Thank you for having me.
So take me back to the beginning. When did Jen Graham become Charity Shop Girl? What's the story there?
So I've always been a charity shop girl at heart. I've charity shopped since I was about 17 years old, and I got made redundant from my job during COVID, and I didn't really know what to do. I just felt a little bit lost. I'd always been in the motor industry but loved fashion as well, and my 13-year-old daughter said, why don't you start sharing your charity shop finds on social media? And it just kind of went from there, really. Escalated very quickly, and I became Charity Shop Girl.
And how did you go about building a kind of community around Charity Shop Girl? How did you go about kind of building on that and starting a conversation with it?
I think from the beginning, I always said I wanted to be myself. I wanted to be relatable. There was going to be no fluffing anything up. It was just going to be me, and it was going to be raw. And I was going to talk about how much I loved charity shopping, how I felt confident. I wasn't confident in lots of things, but I was always confident in my own style and what I wore. And I wanted other people to feel like that as well, not to feel pressured to dress like other people or to feel that you have to be wearing this or have that. And I think that that's how the community built, because people just found it relatable.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like we've kind of been having this conversation a lot with lots of our guests. Sustainability's had a bit of a rebrand, particularly charity shopping. What do you think has fed into that? Why are people more willing to engage with charity shopping and the idea of charity shopping now rather than when you started your account 2 years ago?
So I think the stigma is very quickly being removed about charity shopping, and I think that is down to what I'm doing and what I'm telling people about charity shopping. And at the beginning, when I was sharing videos and I was getting trolled saying, oh, you know, charity shops are full of musty old clothes and I wouldn't wear secondhand clothes, and I went in there and they had, you know, an old man's pair of joggers and they had the holes in. And then when I was talking about it and showing people, this is my outfit today, I am head to toe charity shop, I'm wearing this, I'm wearing that, and people were like, you look great. I would never think that would be in a charity shop. Then they were starting to go into charity shops. They were messaging me saying, I've just been in and I've just picked up this and this, and sending me pictures. The excitement started to build and people started to really see, she's dressing really great, it's affordable and it's secondhand, and she's finding them in charity shops.
It's literally about normalizing it and in such a way that people are like, but that looks like you could have just walked into a store and bought it brand new.
Yeah, exactly that. And the quality of the donations that are going into charity shops now. And I think that people have their own styles and they like different eras and different trends. And what I say to people is, you can find that in a charity shop. There is still those people out there who would walk into a vintage shop in London but would not step foot into a charity shop, whereas for me a charity shop is more vintage than a vintage shop, and the prices are a lot less, but the money is going to these charities, the incredible causes. So I think it's me just trying to change people's mindset and how they feel and remove that stigma that charity shopping has so many incredible things.
And community is really at the heart of all of this, not only in terms of building a community around Charity Shop Girl, but also in terms of giving back to a charity in order for them to do the amazing work within communities that they do. How did you go about building that community around your account and around this cause?
I think people resonate a lot when I talk about charities that I work with or charity shops, because we will hopefully not, but we will use these charities at some point during our lives. And I think that when we're going into charity shops, and I do deliver that message a lot, that if you spend as little as £5, this is what this does for the charity itself. And it's a powerful message that £5 can do so much for this charity and the local community. It brings local communities together. It helps the elderly, you know, animals, children, veterans, homeless, so many different people. And I think that lots of people resonate when I talk about these charities and what I've just bought from there, and they will message and go, that charity helped my mum or my dad. And then when they think that going in there and spending money in there is going to help someone else's mum or dad, it's a huge message. And I think that people just like that about the page as well, that that's what I'm about, is helping charities.
Because there's so much, there's a really big kind of conversation, yes, about obviously the environmental impact of all of this, but also, like you're saying, the social element is so important to you. It's so much bigger than just doing X, Y, or Z. This is actually about people, and people are actually at the core of this too.
Yeah, of course. And I think that even goes back to volunteering as well. You know, there's people out there who've maybe come out of work during COVID and are struggling to get back into work, but volunteering in a charity shop is such an incredible job. It's sociable. If there's so many different roles as well, if you're not comfortable being in the front, you can be in the back, rummaging through the donations, which is my favourite. If you're into fashion and merchandising and, you know, putting all your little bits about at home and you like doing stuff like that, you can get involved in the merchandising. Even online now, there's a lot of e-commerce if you're into that sort of thing. There's so many different roles, and I think that helps the community as well, as being able to volunteer in charity shops. It's not just about buying from them.
It's a really good point. And I think money isn't going as far as it used to. How would you encourage people to engage in this conversation regarding kind of sustainability and thinking in this way when kind of money isn't what it used to be and isn't going as far as it used to?
I think it's about looking after what we've already got, and it's about not worrying that if you open a magazine or you see that something's on trend and it says that this other thing is now off trend, but you like wearing that and you love it, you don't have to put those in the back of your wardrobe and go out and buy the new thing on trend. If you love it, still wear it. It's the same as phones and technology. We're constantly being told, this is the new phone, this is the new, electrical item that you need in your kitchen. But if the one that you've already got still works, it doesn't matter. You're not going to lose friends over it. People aren't going to think any differently of you. It's just about loving what we've already got, taking care of it, and just thinking about ways that we can save money. How you can, even if you are the person that wants to be on trend, you can find trends secondhand. All over the internet, in charity shops, you can still find them, and there's cheaper ways to do it. You don't have to go and tell people that you shop secondhand. I like to tell people, but you don't have to volunteer that information, and no one thinks any differently of you.
And I think what you said there about if you love something, wear it, keep it, hold on to it, treasure it. I think it feels to me like this whole narrative of kind of nailing charity shopping is really establishing what your personal style is. Do you agree with that? And if somebody out there is thinking, well, how do I do that? Where should they start?
I think when people say to me about my style and it's okay for you because that looks great on you, it's not that. It's just, I know my style. I know what suits me. I know what I love. And you have to have that relationship with yourself, but mainly with your wardrobe. You need to go through your wardrobe. If that doesn't make you feel great, it has to go. It's not a yes or it's not a maybe. It's a no, this has to go. You need to feel great in it. You need to find out what you love, what you don't love, what's your thing. Like my things, shoulder pads. I love tailoring. I love oversized. I love men's fashion. And I think once you have that relationship, create mood boards, rip things out of magazines. And I think one of the big things for me is finding out who you love style-wise. So there's so many 90s iconic celebrities that I love their style, that I channel into that. And when I go charity shopping, which for some can be overwhelming, I know the things that I love. I know what I feel great in. I know when I put an outfit on, I think, this is me. I don't care if someone else doesn't like it. This is Jen, and this is me. I own my style and what I love. Once you get to that point, you will love charity shopping because you'll find all your little gems and things that you love.
And you were saying just before we started that often you'll go into charity shops with your friends and they'll say, no, I'm too overwhelmed, I can't do it. And you'll come out with 5-6 pieces for each of them. How do you charity shop without getting overwhelmed or feeling like I don't know where to start?
The one word that I always use is rummage. You have to rummage. You have to start from the beginning and you leave no stone unturned. That is every single item on the rail, because things get put in the wrong place. But also, I've found that favourite jacket, the best jacket with the trousers, because it was like someone's picked it up, maybe changed their minds and put it back. They're constantly putting things out all throughout the day. You could go around the shop, finish, and they could just be, that happened to me with a pair of trousers actually. I saw her putting them out and I literally took, the hanger hadn't even hit the rail and I went, yeah, well, I'll have them. You've got to rummage. You've got to look in baskets for accessories and belts, high and low. You've got to look up, you've got to look down, you've got to look everywhere, and have a good relationship with your wardrobe. So don't know what's in there. So when you go in, you don't go, well, I don't know what I need. Constantly be having that sort out. So I've got that lovely pair of trousers in the wardrobe. They make me feel great. I love them, but I need a top to go with them. Then you know you're going out to look for tops. If you've got loads of tops, but you've got no trousers, look for trousers. Know what's in your wardrobe, know what you like and know what you need, because it can be overwhelming, but once you get rummaging, it's very addictive.
I like the idea of knowing your wardrobe. That's good. That's inspired me.
It's important because we all have things in there that we don't wear and we don't like, and we get it out. And I did it the other day, tried stuff on and thought, I keep trying this on. I don't like it. I don't like my stomach in it. I don't like my arms in it. Why am I keeping hold of it? It's making room for something that I could. So I'll either donate it back and then I'll go in and think, I love that, but I wish it was a little bit more like this. You need to know what's in your wardrobe, because then you tend to wear more of what you've got as well.
And I know that you call yourself an inspirer rather than an influencer. What role do you think social media has to play in this conversation around sustainability?
So I call myself an inspirer because I like to think that I'm inspiring people rather than telling people what to do. I want people to leave my page and feel inspired and feel good about themselves and think it's achievable. I can do that. I can get that outfit. I don't want people to copy my outfits either. I want them to be inspired by it, which is why I use that word. But I think that social media could play a better part in sustainability by maybe not constantly telling us that we need this new thing or that new thing, resharing outfits, rewearing outfits. And like I said to you earlier, celebrities or anyone on their pages who do have these big platforms, please just once wear the same outfit twice to an event, to a big event, something that you felt great in, and put that in your caption. I wore this last time and I felt $1 million, and I want to feel $1 million again, so I'm going to wear it again, and it's okay to wear it again. If we rewear, repurpose, upcycle something, change it by putting, if you wore a dress, put a jumper over it, but let people know, you know, that dress that I felt great in, I'm just going to add something else, I'm going to wear it again, I'm going to reuse it, but I'm going to repurpose it. I think that we just need to be telling people a little bit more that it's okay to wear things more than once, especially if you feel good in it.
Yeah, there's a real fear around kind of being seen to have worn something more than once on social media and being judged for it. This whole thing comes back to really feeling judged, I think, about having something that's been worn before or wearing something for a second time.
And I think that nobody cares. Like I said to you earlier as well, that I don't think I've never uttered it myself, and I've never heard anybody say, she had that on last time, she's wore that before. You know, no one cares, no one notices. And if you feel great, that will give off such a lovely vibe about you as well, and to people and in yourself, you'll just feel great. I loved that dress. And you look at it all the time, oh, I felt great in that, I loved it, but I'm never going to wear it again. Why not? Put it on, wear it again, and keep posting that you're wearing it because you love it and you feel great in it.
And I like that all of your messaging comes back to feeling good. This can all empower you to actually feel really great. It's not even just about what you're wearing or what you might be buying. It's actually also about feeling good too.
Yeah, of course it is. It's about finding what makes you happy as well, and what fills your cup, and what, you know, what you love. And this is definitely something that I love. And I love that the amount of messages that I get on a daily basis that say, your video just cheered me up, I've been having a rubbish day and you made me laugh, or that song that you just played has just reminded me of something, I forgot all about that song. I used to go charity shopping with my mum, and I lost my mum and I've not been back in, and I've just been back in and it's made me feel really good. All those things that I'm talking about, to think that they're helping people in so many ways, but also off the back of it, charity retail having this incredible platform of me being able to shout about how amazing the charity retail sector is it's double whammy, isn't it? It's good for me and it's good for them.
And I think also reframing it as a donation that you're making to a charity, which will do so much good in the community, but also getting something in exchange for that you might actually need or want or might make you feel really good.
Yeah, of course.
Is perfect. Jen, I know that the work that the Salvation Army does is close to your heart. Tell me a little bit about your experience of working with them.
So there's a few things that stick in my mind during my time as charity shop girl, and I spent some time at a donation centre, and it literally gave me goosebumps. I was there with them for 2 days, and just at parts of that time when I was there, I would just stand back and watch how they all worked together. They were an incredible team. It was almost like Santa's workshop. I was watching them. Something would come in and then it'd be passed to one person and they knew where that went and then that went over there. And just watching them interact together in the back was really, really special. There was a guy who worked there, he was a volunteer, and they were helping him get back into work. They were giving him clothes that he could wear for his interviews. They were interviewing him with test questions while he was on the till, and it was just so lovely. But I realised how important the community side of charity retail was as well, because they had a little corner where local businesses were donating food that homeless people could come in at any time. They could have a drink, they could have food. They had like knitting classes on where people could come in, arts and crafts, talking about jobs. And then they also had a part in the back of the donation centre where they kept sleeping bags and flasks that were donated, and they actually made these they filled these bags that had like feminine products in for women, homeless women, so they could come in, you know, like hotel samples. And it was almost like they'd thought of everything for the whole community. There was a church next door as well. It was really special to see, because the homeless could in the local area could come in and get a sleeping bag. They could get a flask. Women could come in and get feminine products. There was things for babies. They had nappies. So it was just, they had thought of everything, and it was a really special 2 days. And I think that's when I realised these charity shops, they're not just charity shops. They're not just selling clothes. What they're doing behind the scenes for the community is really, really special.
They're creating a hub, something so much bigger than just the charity itself.
Yes, they are.
And that's really important.
Yeah, it was really special.
I think that's almost the part of charity shopping that sometimes, like we touched on, goes a little bit forgotten, is that this isn't just a shop where you can buy something. This is actually about giving back and feeding back into a community.
Yeah.
And finally, Jen, I've got to ask you, what are your tips for charity shopping? Top 3 tips for somebody who might want to go and do a charity shop girl this weekend and find something that makes them feel amazing. What are your tips to them? How are they finding it?
Definitely rummage. You have to leave no stone unturned. Every single department in that charity shop needs to be looked through. The second one would have to be look for charity shops that have got a car park, because they always have the best donations, because people will drop the donations there. If it's somewhere that hasn't got great parking, people aren't likely to carry donations there. That's a little secret one. And the third one is shop out of season. I think don't be afraid to... Charity shops sometimes don't have a lot of storage space, so they tend to have every season out. So if you're looking for your favourite winter coat, you might find it in spring. Or you're looking for some summer holiday clothes, you might find them in the winter. Shop out of season, because that might be when you find your best item.
Jen, thank you so much for joining us on the Sustainable Conversation today. It's been a real pleasure to speak to you.
Thank you so much for having me.